want to know what it is, you have to see it for yourself. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
So the first thing I want to do is, of course, run through all of the parts that will comprise my first ever AMD Ryzen PC build. And that's starting, of course, with the AMD Ryzen CPU. This is the 1700X, still an 8-core, 16-thread processor. Should get some decent overclocks thanks to our Deepcool Captain 240EX. This is the black and red version. They also have a white and blue version, which I've showcased in several videos in the past. This should allow us to maybe get around a 3.8, 3.9 gigahertz overclock if we're lucky with it. But this should keep things nice and cool and nice and quiet. Now to house our CPU is the ASRock X370 Taichi. You may have heard of the Taichi variant before. I used the X99 Taichi in Project Blue Sky. This is the X370 variant, which is good for any AM4 CPU, especially this bad boy right here. 8-core, 16 threads. We should get a hefty overclock with this motherboard here. This is one of the best you can buy, one of the best looking in my opinion as well. 16-phase power delivery system. All the works. We'll go through it in more detail here shortly, but this is a board that comes highly recommended here in the studio. For the graphics card, I stole a GTX 1070 from Heisenberg. This is a run-of-the-mill EVGA GTX 1070. It's not even an SC or For the Win edition card, but it is custom painted white. I did that myself. I think I have an instruction kind of thing video here. You want to check that out. This normally comes in black, but a 1070 is plenty, I would say, for the 1700X. You'll see that in the benchmarking video where I face off this Ryzen build against Heisenberg. That'll be interesting. A 1070 versus a 1070. The main difference being the 1700X versus the 6700K. Another component of the XLR8 lineup, the 960 Gigabyte SSD. This is a behemoth. It's a 1 terabyte virtually solid state drive, good for our operating system and general storage, games, things of that sort. Plenty of storage for a PC like this. I recommend at least around half a terabyte if you can get by without, packing many games into the drive, but 1 terabyte should be plenty for what we intend to do with this system. Now, Team Group was super cool. They wanted to show off their ROG Certified Ddr4. These are T-Force DIMMs here. They come in 2 8-gig packs. So we have a total of 32 gigabytes here, and they are running at 3 gigahertz, it looks like, with a CAS latency 16, 18, 18, 38 at 1.35 volts. Good for any modern platform. These are also red, which will of course match our red, black, and white theme, which is good to see. And shouldn't have a problem with these. Pretty much any pair of DIMMs that you go with, any quad channel DIMMs you go with, will be okay, as long as they have decent reviews. And these have worked out very well for me in the past. I have no problem, again, going with Team Group for this Ryzen PC build. Now for the epic combo, the Corsair Premium PSU cable kit, individually sleeved red cables that match our red theme. Good for any modular Corsair power supply listed on the box, and that power supply of choice is the RM750X 80 Plus Gold power supply, fully modular, super quiet, not gonna have any problems in this department. And lastly, the Corsair 460X, which is a tempered glass version of the Corsair 400C, which I reviewed in a video right there. So check that one out if you want to know more about just like how the case is laid out and things like that. You'll see it more in detail when we start building in the case, but this is beautiful, includes 3 RGB fans. This is the RGB edition. You see we have plenty of capabilities up top. We can customize quite a bit. It's all integrated into the case. There's also a controller in the back. And yeah, I think that's about it. Those are the components. I appreciate all of the companies willing to contribute to this build. We're going to have at it. And alright, here is my first ever AMD Ryzen PC build. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed the tech porn you just saw. I do apologize for this fan right here. It's the only one in the PC that's exceptionally loud. I haven't properly calibrated the fan curve yet here, so yeah, it's kind of a buzzing noise in the background. But I do think that the white, red, and black theme turned out very well in this build. The Corsair 460X is a beautiful case. It is kind of a major pain to work in. It's not the easiest to build in, but the payout in the end, I think, is top notch. Of course, the classic color scheme here makes things pop even more, as well as these 3 included RGB fans. This is what you get when you purchase the 460X RGB edition. You can purchase other variants of the case that include fans that are only programmed for one color. The other thing I wanted to show you that I mentioned in the beginning of this video is that I don't have the included AM4 support bracket for the Captain 240EX. Deepcool told me that this date right here is when the bracket will be available for Ryzen builds, but for now I kind of just threw some rubber bands around the stock AM4 little bridge here and on the bottom as well. Not something I'd recommend in the long run, but it's doing okay so far. See, it's fairly stable, not going to go anywhere for now. That's really all I'm worried about, and I think that this red fluid along with the black 240mm radiator look absolutely stunning. And as promised, here is the Cinebench run, starting right now. And look at all of those little threads render that image. That was actually very quick. And our Cinebench score is 1646. It's actually a very good score considering we were only at 3.8 gigahertz. That's a frequency that I think most people should be able to obtain with the 1700X. We'll investigate that more further. But for now, thanks for watching the build log. I am very much looking forward to benchmarking this PC and pitting it head to head against good old Heisenberg. This is Salazar Studio. Thanks for building with us. Whoops, I hit the camera tripod there.